Good morning, everyone. This is Eric with the National Weather Service. We'll give it just a few more seconds here. I see we still have a few people rolling in, so we'll get started here in just a few seconds. Thanks. All right, we'll go ahead and get started with today's briefing, 10 a.m. Eclipse briefing for Wednesday. Just a few items up front to share. The next briefing for this event will occur tomorrow and Friday, Thursday and Friday at 10 a.m. And then on Saturday, we'll have one at 8 a.m. Also a reminder, this will be recorded and we will send out slides at the end of the recording. And we will also, if you have questions through the briefing, just feel free to enter them in the question box and we will get to those towards the end of today's briefing. So starting things off, this is again our 10 a.m. briefing for the annular eclipse. And to give you an idea of the path here on this slide, this basically shows the path across Texas starting from the late morning hours into the early afternoon hours, depending on where you're going to be located across Texas. Of course, across our region. Overall, we're expecting some good weather. We'll get into that momentarily, but here's the path that we have for the annular eclipse. And then here's basically a graphic that shows the peak times of when the eclipse will be maximized. And also just kind of a quick graphic there as to what you can expect. Safety first, we want to stress that you cannot look at this with anything other than eclipse glasses. Sunglasses won't work, so protect those eyes. Make sure you have a solar filter on those glasses for sure. Looking at the weather, like I said, overall, I think we've got some favorable conditions. We've got temperatures that'll be warming for Thursday and Friday ahead of a strong cold front or a fairly strong cold front. So we'll be back into kind of almost some early summertime temperatures on Thursday and Friday with highs in the 80s and maybe even some lower 90s across the region. A cold front is expected to move through late Friday afternoon into the evening hours. There will be breezy north winds behind this cold front that we can expect through Friday night and into portions of Saturday morning. As the front moves through most of the region, I think it will be a dry frontal passage, meaning we don't expect any chance for showers and thunderstorms across most areas. The one exception for that is going to be out west along the Rio Grande and down into the coastal plains region, or basically from Eagle Pass to Cuero to Hallettsville. Anywhere along and south of that line, there's a low chance for some showers and thunderstorms. I think that's going to be mainly more during the very early morning hours on Saturday. So by daybreak Saturday, I think our rain chances for everyone will pretty much end. That's the way the forecast is lined up at this time. And again, the big day, the Saturday for the eclipse, for most areas, it looks like we're going to be dry along with mostly clear skies. Our confidence is good that we won't see those low clouds hanging around. Behind this front, I think we're going to see enough dry air to push those low clouds south of the region. The one potential area that we may have to watch for some low clouds is along the Rio Grande, from basically south of Del Rio down into the Eagle Pass area. The forecast models have been fairly consistent at showing this, and it looks like the trend maybe has been upward in the sky cover across that region. So we may be dealing with a little bit of low clouds, and there's also the possibility of some low rain chances. We don't have those in the forecast just yet, but that's something that we're going to be watching. Again, that'll be Saturday morning time frame, mainly south of Del Rio. Here's a forecast weather map depiction of what we expect. The one on the left is basically early morning around sunrise or so on Friday. You can see that cold front is still locked up across West Texas. But by the time we look at Saturday morning on this graphic on the right, cold front is pushed well south of the region into the Gulf. As far as our temperatures, it looks like we're going to have some fairly cool temperatures on Saturday morning. Low temperatures will be in the mid 50s out in the hill country and down into the mid 60s in the coastal plains for San Antonio. Temperatures ought to be pretty nice for Saturday. We're going to be looking at a lot of mid 70s to low 80s across the region. So we're looking weather-wise, temperature-wise, not too bad at all. Just checking on the sky cover. We'll go through these for 10 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m. A graphic on the left shows you the sky cover. A graphic on the right is the corresponding temperature. So again, as I mentioned, we may be contending with some cloud cover down in that Rio Grande Plain area south of Del Rio into the Eagle Pass area. So there's your sky cover for 10 a.m. and temperatures. And as we go through Saturday at noon, you can see maybe just a little bit of a decrease in that cloud cover across the southwestern areas. Looking further to the north and northwest, or excuse me, northeast, you see basically clear skies as we get closer to the San Antonio and New Braunfels area. And then that trend for the afternoon, temperatures start to kind of go up a little bit, but still pretty pleasant. And then cloud cover, like I say, across the eastern part of that 90% obscuration line should remain mostly clear. But as you get back closer to the Rio Grande, we may still have to contend with some cloud cover across that area. Again, it's kind of far out to be really getting too terribly specific with the sky cover, but that's what it's looking like at this time. Now, what we have here is a reasonable worst case scenario graphic for 10 a.m. Saturday morning. This is something that may come to fruition, but it would be kind of a worst case scenario, but yet a reasonable worst case scenario. And you can see the focus for cloud cover still out west along the Rio Grande. Again, this is for 10 a.m. and by the time we roll around to 1 p.m., looks like a little bit of a decrease in the cloud cover, but still areas out west along the Rio Grande may be prone to a little bit more cloud cover. As far as the wind gusts are concerned, here's what we've got for on the graphic on the left for Friday and Friday night. Could see some wind gusts to that 25, maybe up to that a few spots up to 30 miles an hour. And then as we get into Saturday, excuse me, I went ahead too far there. Saturday, the graphic on the right, I think those wind gusts will be more likely to occur earlier in the day versus later in the day. And then any kind of hazards that we have across the region, like I say, we're looking at a fairly quiet weather period. The one thing we have to watch out for is anytime we get dry north winds behind a cold front, we do have to look at some sort of a low end fire weather concern. And we've got that in the low end, the limited category for Friday into Saturday. So we do expect dry conditions, maybe a low end fire weather threat for Friday and Saturday behind that cold front. If you want to get specific details for a specific location, there's a QR code here on this graphic. This is just an example. This is not a real-time plot here, but this just shows what you can get for a specific location of your choosing, anywhere from hourly temperatures to wind speeds to sky cover to chance of rain. And on the next graphic here, we have a set of QR codes that's drilled down for a few spots that we've predetermined. You can see there on the screens anywhere from Rock Springs over to Kerrville, even over to San Antonio. You can get that specific forecast if you'd like. So to summarize, cold front on Friday, later on in the day is when we expect that cold front to move through more during the afternoon and evening hours. There will be some breezy winds behind the front Friday night and into the Saturday morning time frame. Again, the weather overall still looking good for the eclipse. Again, as I mentioned, we may have to watch that Rio Grande area for the possibility of some increased cloud cover and maybe a few light showers across that neck of the woods. And again, as we get closer to the event, our forecast confidence will increase, and so we will continue to adjust the forecast as needed. Again, the next briefing will be for 10 a.m. Thursday, and then again 10 a.m. Friday, and then Saturday at 8 a.m. That's all I have for you. I'll wait for a few minutes. I don't see anything coming into the question box here, but I'll wait a few seconds and see if anybody has anything. And again, as a reminder, the recording will be posted. We'll put that in a link. We'll send that out to you. It will be on YouTube. And also this slide deck that we went through will also be on the email that you receive. And I don't see anything coming in. So at this time, we'll go ahead and wrap up the briefing. Appreciate your attendance and have a good day.